What if I told you that you are not the effect but the cause of your entire financial destiny? Would you dare to believe that your millionaire life isn't a goal to chase, but a reality waiting for you to embody? There's a place within you where you already possess all that you seek. The cause of your success, the true millionaire mindset shift, is not found in effort or strategy, but in a single powerful decision to become what you desire now. You don't wait to be a millionaire. You step into your power and manifest the millionaire life by assuming it is already yours. That is the law, that is the unseen path. The riches of the world bend to those who walk in conscious wealth creation, not from wishing but from being. You are the author, you are the mirror, you are the identity of abundance itself. Inner cause creates outer wealth, and the moment you live from that place, the millionaire life begins within. You must first believe that you are the one who creates wealth, not the one who seeks it. Every attempt to accumulate riches without shifting the self-concept only results in more effort, more striving, more lack. The secret lies in the invisible, your identity. To think like a millionaire, you must feel the weight of your value. Do not wait for evidence. Change your self-concept until the world has no choice but to reflect your new image. Every word you speak within yourself is a command to reality. When your inner conversations are saturated with lack, hesitation, and fear, the world echoes it faithfully. But speak from the end. Say to yourself, I feel rich now, even when appearances argue otherwise. Say, I already possess the wealth I need, and the invisible becomes visible. To assume wealth as your reality is to call it out of the ether and into the now. The secret of transformation is not hard work. It is emotional acceptance. You are not rewarded for trying hard, but for embodying wealth consciousness with clarity. The power of belief and wealth are linked. The more natural it feels to be rich, the faster it appears. When you assume riches as your state, without condition or resistance, the world must rearrange itself in alignment with your new frequency. You do not need a better job. You need a better image within. When you rehearse wealth in your imagination, you are building the blueprint of manifestation. Picture yourself walking into the home you desire, signing checks with ease, living the millionaire lifestyle mindset without doubt. Every night, fall asleep as that person. Every morning, wake up as that being. The outer world is not the creator, it is the follower. Do not chase money. That is the path of the poor in spirit. Instead, align with prosperity by being it. If you are already living in your desired financial state, how would you think, walk, speak, and move? Begin there. Dwell in it. Breathe from it. You cannot receive what you are not willing to become. Prosperity is never outside of you. It is a decision, not a destination. To attract money fast, release the belief that it is hard. Wealth is not summoned through struggle. It is revealed through surrender. The one who feels rich now radiates ease, confidence, and clarity. The universe is allergic to desperation, but responds instantly to certainty. The less you push, the more you receive. In silence, in trust, in knowing, you inherit kingdoms. If you desire a new income, do not wait for external proof. Assume wealth as your reality until your belief makes it solid. Doubt delays, faith fulfills. Belief is not a fragile hope, it is a contract signed in spirit and delivered by law. Your thoughts shape your income long before numbers appear in your account. Reality bends to belief. This is a spiritual path to wealth, not a transactional one. It begins with your state of being. When you are still, confident, surrendered, and fully aware of your identity as the one who holds all power, money flows naturally. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. The quantum wealth shift is the elevation of your awareness. You no longer hope to become, you remember that you are. You must first believe that you are the one who creates wealth, not the one who seeks it. This is the critical reversal upon which your entire life pivots. The world tells you to go out and get, but truth asks that you become. Until you are willing to assume the consciousness of the wealthy, you will remain an observer, never the possessor. This is not a matter of external conditions, but of internal self-concept. A man can work 10 hours a day and still be poor in spirit. Another may sit quietly and imagine vividly, and the wealth of the world will come to him. It is not what you do, it is what you are. Identity is not formed by facts. It is shaped by feeling. What you feel yourself to be is what you become. The question is not how much money do I have, but who am I in relation to money? The moment you declare yourself poor, struggling, or waiting, you lock yourself into a cycle of delay. The law cannot give you what you refuse to be. The outer reflects the inner with flawless precision. It is not your effort that commands money, it is your embodiment of wealth. If you see yourself as someone becoming rich, you will forever be in the process of becoming. But if you accept that you already are, then the journey collapses and the destination appears. Think not of money as something far from you. Think of it as an extension of your state of consciousness. It flows to the one who no longer believes it is foreign. It sticks to the one who believes it is native. Every millionaire has one thing in common. They accepted, often subconsciously, the idea that they were worthy of wealth. That worth was not given to them. It was chosen. You too must choose to be the cause of your riches by claiming the identity of someone who already has what they desire. You cannot dwell in the consciousness of lack and expect abundance to surprise you. You must begin to carry yourself inwardly as though you possess all that you have ever wanted. That means when you speak to yourself, you speak from fulfillment. That means when you make decisions, you make them with confidence as one who has already won. Do not ask, how will I afford this? But rather, what would I choose if I were already wealthy? That question leads you out of mental bondage. That question stirs the God self within you. There is a quiet power in being financially secure within your imagination before it appears in your bank account. The world may call it delusion, but heaven calls it creation. Everything that appears in this visible realm was once a dream, an idea, a silent knowing. Those who dare to walk in the state of already having are the ones who pull the future into the present. They don't wait for confirmation. They confirm themselves. They don't need evidence. They are the evidence. If you look at your current conditions and declare them to be your truth, you have misunderstood the law. Circumstances are past manifestations crystallized. They are the echoes of old beliefs, the ghosts of former states. To live by them is to imprison yourself in history. But to ignore them and rise in imagination to the state of affluence is to break free from the cycle and create a new. Do not fight the old. Simply walk into the new in consciousness, and the world will follow. It is not arrogance to say, I am wealthy. It is divine law. It is the highest humility to accept what has already been given to you in the unseen. Your true riches exist not in gold or stocks or land, but in your ability to assume the feeling of being one with abundance. All things, money, relationships, opportunities flow from that place. And that place is within you. The self that lacks and the self that has cannot live in the same body. You must choose. Choose this day whom you will serve. The image of poverty or the image of wealth. The moment you decide, the tide turns. The moment you step into the new image of self, reality bends, not gradually but faithfully. The law responds instantly to new assumptions, even if the visible takes time to catch up. When the inner man changes, the outer world scrambles to keep pace. So begin now. Begin not with action but with awareness. Look into the mirror of your mind and see yourself as the one who no longer chases wealth but who radiates it. Speak to yourself as if your financial reality were already transformed. Walk as one who has nothing to prove. The identity of abundance is the seed from which all riches grow. Plant it daily. Water it with imagination and refuse to contradict it with fear. You are the cause. You always have been. Every word you speak within yourself is a living seed. It carries within it the power to shape, sculpt, and design the outer conditions of your life. Most people spend their days speaking more within than without. The internal conversations are non-stop. Opinions, reactions, fears, plans. Yet few realize that these silent whispers are not harmless. They are commands issued to reality. The world you see, the events you encounter, and the results you call your life are all emanations of that inner voice. Therefore, to change your life, you must first change your inner dialogue. What you continually say to yourself in the silence of your heart becomes a framework of your external experience. Speak from poverty, and you will see its shadows cast upon your reality. Speak from lack, and you will dwell in need. But speak from wealth, even if only within, and you begin the process of transformation. Do not wait for the world to confirm your value. Speak as the one who knows, who feels, and who assumes that value already exists. The moment you declare, "I feel rich now," you step into a timeline where wealth is not a dream, but a present identity. Your inner dialogue must not describe your life as it appears. It must describe your life as you choose it to be. Every assumption you accept as true becomes a blueprint. Your subconscious mind does not argue with you. It accepts whatever you persistently affirm and begins to organize your life to reflect it. If you continuously think thoughts like, "I am struggling," or "I never have enough," your subconscious takes it as instruction. It does not judge. It simply obeys. But when you decide to change your speech, when you begin to affirm, "I am wealthy," money flows to me easily, everything I touch prospers, you're issuing new creative commands, and though the outer may resist for a moment, it must eventually conform. Reality is not fixed, it is fluid. It is shaped and reshaped daily by the dominant tones of your imagination and inner speech. You are always creating. Even in silence, your identity is being affirmed. Your inner talk is the cause. The visible world is the effect. So the only question that matters is, what are you telling yourself when no one else is listening? Are you mentally rehearsing fear? Are you predicting loss? Or are you claiming victory before you see it? It is easy to speak of abundance when the bank is full. But true mastery begins when you declare wealth in the face of emptiness. To assume wealth as your reality is not mere affirmation. It is transformation. It is not repeating words for comfort. It is speaking with authority, knowing that what you say in consciousness must echo back in form. You do not say, "I am rich," to convince yourself. You say it because you know that consciousness is the only reality, and if it is true within, it must become true without. You say because your inner world is more real than the outer reflection, and when the inner changes, the outer cannot remain the same. The world may call it delusion, but what they do not understand is that your inner speech is the cause, not the effect. Those who mock are still prisoners of circumstance. Those who declare truth from within are the architects of the new world. You must persist in your chosen speech even when the world shows you the opposite. You must feel as though it is already done. Speak from the end, not toward it. Say, "It is mine," not "it will be." Say, "I have it now," not "I hope one day." For as long as your speech pushes the desire into the future, you delay its arrival. All wealth begins in silence, in the secret conversations you hold with yourself. If you could record and transcribe a day of your inner speech, you would be shocked to see how clearly it maps your external results. Most people speak from worry, expectation of loss, unworthiness, and then they wonder why life mirrors back scarcity. To reverse this, begin to reverse your speech. Not just spoken aloud, but the inner affirmations you repeat all day long. Change the tone, change the vocabulary, change the assumptions. Begin now to speak to yourself as one who already lives in opulence. Picture yourself receiving, not asking. Picture yourself expanding, not contracting. Say things like, "Of course money flows to me," or "It's natural for me to be wealthy." Make these statements so natural in your mind that to speak from lack feels foreign. When your dominant thoughts become rich in nature, the external will have no choice but to align. The invisible law of creation will always deliver what has been inwardly accepted. Speak to yourself as you would if the dream were already fulfilled. Argue no longer for your limitations. Rehearse no more the stories of lack. If you want a different life, speak a different truth. Do it consistently. Do it with feeling. Do it until it feels more real than the world around you. For the moment your inner world changes, your outer world must bow to match it. The secret of transformation is not in how hard you try, but in how deeply you feel. The law does not respond to effort, it responds to assumption. It does not hear the words of the anxious or the striving, it hears the vibration of the one who has accepted the end as real. You are not rewarded because you have worked harder than others, you are rewarded because you have allowed yourself to feel something most never dare to touch. The actual possession of your desire before it appears. You must understand that to feel is to claim. To emotionally accept something as true is to seed it into the fabric of reality. Nothing manifests from mere repetition without emotion, but the smallest impression charged with certainty, belief, and identity becomes a magnetic force, drawing its likeness into form. People exhaust themselves chasing money, believing that the more they move, the more they gain. But wealth is not attracted to motion. It is attracted to vibration. It responds not to what you do, but to what you are. You are either dwelling in wealth or in poverty long before any money reaches your hand. The world will always reflect back the state you occupy most dominantly. So if your daily existence is laced with fear, anxiety, and concern about the future, no effort can outrun that state. The universe does not deliver according to your struggle. It delivers according to your assumption. The one who feels rich now, even if his hands are empty, is closer to wealth than the one who anxiously counts coins and balances books. Why? Because the first has entered the state while the second only measures the shadow. You must enter the feeling of already being who you wish to be. You must clothe yourself with that state. Walk in it, speak from it, act as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The less you strain, the more you receive. The more you accept, the more you become. There is no gap between you and what you want. Accept the belief that there is. You are not climbing towards success, you are aligning with it. The moment you stop striving and start assuming, you step into power. It is not the intensity of your desire that determines the outcome, it is the conviction that it already is. Most people keep their desires out of reach because they believe they are not ready, not worthy, not there yet. But when you feel yourself into the state of already having it, you bypass all the stories that say, not yet. The law recognizes the one who accepts, not the one who begs. This is why the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the cornerstone of all manifestation. It is not a matter of pretending. It is the deliberate assumption of a new reality, planted in the garden of consciousness and watered by emotion. You must feel it real. Not because the outer world has confirmed it, but because your inner world has accepted it. The outer world has no choice but to obey. You are the projector. Reality is the screen. If you try to scratch the screen without changing the real, you waste your time. But if you change the real within, if you dwell in the new state long enough, the screen must change too. The principle is always the same. Enter the state. Saturate yourself in it. Feel what it's like to be the person who already lives in the fulfillment of your desire. What thoughts would you think if you were already wealthy? What choices would you make? What would no longer matter to you? Begin there. Let that imagined experience shape you. Let it guide your words, your posture, your tone. You are not here to wish for riches. You are here to become them. And becoming is not an achievement. It is a shift. The more naturally you can accept the feeling of wealth, the faster it arrives. But if you continue to identify as someone hoping, waiting, trying, striving, you push the very thing you want further away. You are not to work harder at becoming rich. You are to abandon the identity that says you are not. Drop it, release it. Step into a state where having is normal, where money flows easily, where opportunities find you, where your worth is not earned, it is remembered. Do not be fooled by appearances. What you see is just a residue of old thoughts, past emotions, former states. To argue with appearances is to delay your miracle. Instead, rise in feeling. Let the body of your desire wrap around you like a coat. Make no excuses for it. Claim it boldly. The one who feels wealth with gratitude, confidence, and joy, long before it appears, is the one who commands reality with ease. The law bends for the one who assumes. It serves the one who no longer waits. You do not need more effort. You need more imagination. The imagination is the workshop of the soul. It is the silent boom of creation where every condition, event, and outcome is first formed in unseen clay. What most fail to understand is that nothing ever appears in your outer world until it is first completed in the inner world. Your hands may build, but it is your mind that commands what shall be built. This is the forgotten truth of all success. Your wealth does not begin with money, connections, or hard labor. It begins in your inner theater. The power that shapes your life is not found in the outer struggle, but in the quiet images you entertain behind closed eyes. To imagine is not to pretend. It is to create. There is more substance in a deeply felt image than in a bank vault filled with gold. For gold can be taken. The image once fully accepted cannot. It is your spiritual property. If you would only understand how the invisible precedes the visible, you would stop reacting to appearances and start investing in vision. It is imagination that gives birth to form. Before you received anything, you once imagined it, whether consciously or unconsciously. The chair you sit in, the home you enter, the job you work, all once lived in someone's imagination. So why not take hold of this truth deliberately and use it for your own good? When you begin to picture yourself as the one who already possesses the thing you desire, you activate the law. If you can see it in your mind and feel it with your emotions, you impress it upon the deeper levels of your being, and that which is impressed must be expressed. Do not wait to see something before you believe it. Instead, believe it so vividly within that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around your new vision. This is the method of those who seem to effortlessly receive. They are not lucky. They are aligned. An alignment is imagination fused with feeling. When you see yourself as rich, truly see it. And when that vision becomes so natural, so familiar, so comfortable within you, it must externalize. That is the law. The outer world always bows to the inner assumption. Picture it now. What does your life look like as a wealthy person? Where do you live? What does your morning feel like? What conversations are you having? Go there in your mind again and again until it no longer feels foreign, until it feels like memory. Let imagination become your new memory. Live from it, speak from it, act from it. Not in a mechanical way, but with deep conviction. Most fail in this because they approach it as a task instead of a transformation. They imagine once or twice and then return to doubt. They treat it as fiction. But the wise know that everything starts in spirit. Every dollar you hold began in someone's mind. Every opportunity you receive was first imagined by someone somewhere. Why then would you not honor your imagination as the source? There is a sacred moment when your inner image becomes more real than the outer condition. That is when the shift occurs. Not when the money comes, but when you are no longer looking for it. When you are living so fully in the feeling of abundance that the absence of money no longer disturbs you. That is when you become magnetic. That is when the world begins to reflect back what you have accepted as true. Imagination is not merely a tool. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Every night before you sleep, return to your vision. Enter it as though it were your home. Walk the halls of your imagined mansion. Feel the steering wheel of your dream car. See the bank balance you desire. Hear the voice of a loved one congratulating you. These are not fantasies. They are seeds. And every seed bears after its own kind. What you sow in imagination, you shall reap in experience. But you must believe the seed is real. You must trust the soil of your soul. You do not need more money to feel wealthy. You need a richer image of self. The inner world responds to imagination, and the outer world responds to the inner world. So if you seek wealth, do not seek it with your hands. Seek it with your spirit. Go within. Close your eyes. Construct the scene. Add the details. Add the tones of reality. Breathe life into it. Feel the thrill of it. And then carry that feeling with you as you move through your day. Imagination is not a luxury, it is the engine. It is not passive, it is creative. The clearer you see, the faster you receive, but more than clarity, it is the feeling that matters. A blurry image felt deeply is more powerful than a clear image felt coldly. Feel it real. Let it become natural to you. Let it become so alive within you that when it appears, you are not surprised, you are grateful, but never shocked. For you knew all along that it would come. You lived there first. Do not chase money. Do not run after it like a slave running toward a master. That posture alone confirms to the universe that you are separate from what you desire, that you believe it is distant, that you do not yet possess the identity to claim it. The more you chase, the more you affirm its absence. The world does not yield its riches to those who pant after them. It opens to those who walk in certainty. The secret is not in pursuit, but in assumption. To assume the state of wealth is to place yourself in harmony with the rhythm of abundance. It is not about getting more. To align with prosperity is to feel at home in the world of the wealthy. Before it arrives in form, you must let go of the need to prove, earn, or deserve, and instead step into the knowing that what you desire already exists in the invisible. There is nothing to chase when the thing you desire is already a part of your inner state. When you imagine from the place of fulfillment, you are not looking at it, you are looking from it. And that simple shift, from looking toward to looking from, is the axis of all manifestation. If you were already living in wealth, if it were normal and natural to you, how would you think? How would you move through your day? What thoughts would no longer dominate you? Begin to ask those questions, not from curiosity, but from authority. When you shift from chasing to embodying, the vibration you hold transforms from desperation to dominion. The world, which once ignored your requests, now begins to echo your inner tone. Why? Because you are no longer seeking, you are being. To be is to become, to embody is to receive. You cannot truly receive what you will not claim. That is why so many remain stuck in cycles of longing and striving. They never allow themselves to accept the state internally. They keep praying from the posture of someday instead of walking in the atmosphere of already done. To align with prosperity is to change the conversation in your mind from I want to I am. The words change. But more importantly, the identity behind the words changes. And identity is destiny. The wealthy do not beg for opportunity. They expect it. They do not walk with fear. They walk in authority. And the most powerful truth is this: anyone can enter that state. It is not reserved for the few, the privileged, or the lucky. It is available to all who are willing to revise the inner self. The moment you feel yourself stepping into the identity of someone who already has enough, who already is enough, you begin to attract experiences that mirror that new self-image. The outer world cannot help but conform. You do not have to manipulate circumstances or force people to favor you. You do not have to wait for a perfect moment to begin. You only have to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your new home. If you were already rich, what would you allow yourself to feel? Feel it now. If you were already free financially, what dreams would you pursue? Begin now. Do not wait for confirmation. You are the confirmation. The inner tone you set becomes the music of your life. This is why the effort to chase money often ends in exhaustion. The universe is not moved by striving, it is moved by alignment. And alignment happens in the realm of feeling. You can take inspired action, yes, but only from the place of having, not from the illusion of lack. Any action taken in the state of not enough only extends the vibration of not enough. But a single decision made from the state of wealth can open doors that no amount of hustling ever could. Begin now to make it a habit to ask yourself, what would I do if I had no financial limitation? Then do it in consciousness, feel it, picture it, absorb it. Let the taste of freedom touch your inner senses. Walk mentally in the scenes of your fulfilled desire. Assume the mood of the wealthy, not with arrogance, but with calm assurance. This is not fiction, it is spiritual law. You are not manipulating reality, you are aligning with it. The more you walk in the identity of prosperity, the less you'll feel the need to prove yourself. The less you compare, the less you strive. You will begin to notice the world respond differently. People will treat you according to how you treat yourself. Opportunities will emerge that you did not chase. Ideas will come that you did not force. Solutions will appear that you did not earn. Why? Because reality is always bending to the self you are being. Prosperity does not follow struggle. It follows identity. To attract money fast, you must forget the idea that it is hard. That belief alone is the stone that blocks the gate. The more you affirm that wealth is difficult, the more your experience confirms that prophecy. But when you release the belief in struggle, when you lay down the mental burden and begin to move in the assumption that receiving is natural, you enter the stream of ease, where all things flow without resistance. The one who feels rich now, regardless of what the senses report, is already living in the vibration of wealth. And where there is wealth in feeling, there will soon be wealth in form. There is a sacred order in how things come into your world. It is not a mystery, it is law. What you embody emotionally becomes what you express materially. Most people reverse this. They wait for money to feel wealthy, wait for the evidence before they allow the emotion. But by waiting, they postpone. What they call patience is really disbelief dressed in polite language. You are not here to wait for wealth. You are here to claim it through the inner acceptance of ease. It is not your effort that opens doors. It is your alignment. You have been taught to believe in struggle as a virtue. You've been told that to suffer and strive proves your worth. But look around. Those who suffer the most are rarely rewarded. The ones who live in expectation, who walk lightly, who speak from certainty, these are the ones who receive. It is not their background. It is not their education. It is their vibration. They know something the world has forgotten, that being precedes having. The more you try, the more you affirm that you do not yet possess. But the moment you stop trying and begin being, you collapse time. There is a quiet confidence that wealth responds to. It is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not demand attention. It simply knows. It walks through life with the air of one who has already arrived. You must practice this inner atmosphere, this vibration of already having, not once, not twice, but until it becomes natural, until you cannot imagine being any other way. That is the bridge between idea and manifestation, not force, not effort. Familiarity. You must become so familiar with the state of wealth that poverty becomes unnatural. The universe does not need time to bring you what you desire. It only needs permission. And permission is granted the moment you surrender the need to control how it will come. Let go of the schedule. Let go of the method. Let go of the logic. Logic is the language of delay. Imagination is the language of immediacy. It is not irrational to feel rich before money comes. It is creative. That feeling is the blueprint. That assumption is the structure upon which reality builds its response. When you speak from the feeling of already being provided for, already being supported, already being abundant, your words become seeds. They fall into the subconscious and take root. And like all seeds, they produce after their kind. You cannot plant scarcity and expect harvest. You must plant ease, plant sufficiency, plant gratitude. And you do this not by repeating lifeless affirmations, but by embodying the truth of them. When you say, money flows to me easily, you must say it with the breath of someone who believes it. You must feel it in your bones. Let that truth rise through your spine and radiate through your presence. There is a divine rhythm to receiving. It is not frantic. It is not anxious. It is still. It is grounded. It is quiet. The more peaceful you are, the louder your vibration becomes. The more relaxed your spirit, the more magnetic your energy. Do not confuse inactivity with laziness. There is a difference between passive resignation and powerful surrender. One says, I give up. The other says, it is done. Feel the difference. One vibrates with lack, the other vibrates with faith. The latter is what draws wealth to you. Let this become your new foundation. I do not need to try harder. I only need to believe deeper. Every time you let go of resistance, you rise. Every time you stop explaining your dreams to those who cannot see them, you align more purely with your vision. Every time you say, I am ready, and mean it, not with desperation, but with calm knowing, you unlock more of what was already waiting. This is not reward for good behavior. It is resonance. You do not earn it. You match it. You are already one with the source of all abundance. You do not need to chase money any more than the sun chases light. You are not an outsider knocking on the door of success. You are success remembering itself. Strip away the doubts, the effort, the noise, and what remains is truth, and truth always manifests with ease. If you desire a new income, do not look to the outer world for confirmation. Do not analyze your present circumstances as if they carry any real authority. They are only the shadows cast by former states of consciousness. The world you see today is not the cause, it is the echo. If you place your faith in what your senses report, you are worshiping the past. The moment you begin to doubt your vision because of what you see, you have disconnected from the only true creative power, belief. Belief is not a future hope, it is a present knowing. When you claim your wealth in consciousness and feel it with conviction, reality must bend. There is no other option. Doubt is the silent saboteur of all manifestation. It does not scream, but it speaks just loud enough to keep you small. It asks, how can this be? And what if it never happens? But belief, true belief, does not ask how. It declares what is. It walks as if the end were already established. To live in belief is to walk forward with no evidence other than your own inner assurance. And that is enough. For what the world calls proof, belief calls residue. What the world calls realistic, belief calls recycled assumptions. You are not called to repeat the visible. You are called to create the invisible and trust it long enough for it to take shape. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your feelings are the builder. Your faith is the key that unlocks the completed design. You may not know the steps, but you must know the end. This is the way the invisible becomes visible. Most people seek certainty outside of themselves, and because they never find it, they hesitate. They wait for opportunity to knock, not knowing that they are the ones who must build the door. If you can believe, truly believe, that your financial breakthrough is already done, then the door opens without a sound. It opens because you are already inside. What you see with your physical eyes is always delayed. By the time something is visible, it has already been accepted internally. Therefore, if you want to change what you see, you must change what you believe, not in theory, not as a nice idea, but as your daily inner reality. You must no longer question it. You must walk in it, speak from it, feel from it, make decisions from it. If you truly believe that money was never again a problem, how would you act? How would you speak to others? How would you hold yourself? That is the state you must enter, not one day, now. The law does not respond to passive wishing, it responds to active identity. Who are you in relation to your desire? If you still feel like a beggar hoping for a blessing, you are not aligned. But if you feel like the one who already has, the one who already is, the one who already knows, then reality will match you with precision. It cannot resist. It is bound by law to reflect the image you consistently hold of yourself. That image is sculpted not by outer circumstances, but by inner assumptions. You must assume wealth not because of what is in your account, but because of what is in your awareness. Let it feel natural to you. Let it feel inevitable. Speak to yourself as the one who already lives in the end result. Let no fear, no external delay, no contradictory evidence shake that foundation. The world will test your conviction not to punish you, but to purify you. Every delay is simply a mirror asking, do you still believe? And every time you answer yes, not with words, but with posture and persistence, you strengthen your alignment. Belief is not a trick of the mind. It is not fantasy. It is the bridge between the inner and the outer, between the imagined and the experience. To walk across that bridge is to keep your eyes on the destination, even when your feet touch familiar ground. Do not look around for clues. Create the path by walking it. Make the unseen more real to you than the seen. That is the secret of manifestation. That is how you cause what others call miracles. When you accept a new truth as your own, you begin to radiate a new vibration. People feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Money flows toward it. You do not have to broadcast it. You do not have to announce it. The silent frequency of belief speaks louder than words. It says to the universe, "This is who I am now." And the universe replies, "So it is." Do not ask for permission to prosper. Do not seek validation. Assume the identity of the wealthy, the successful, the free, and reality will mirror you accordingly. The law does not discriminate. It does not bless one and withhold from another. It gives to all who believe, not partially, but fully. So the question remains, do you believe it is already yours? If you do, then act like it, live like it, think like it. Let every breath be a confirmation of that truth. You are not waiting. You are remembering. You are not becoming. You are revealing. And the world is simply catching up to the self you already are. Your greatest asset is not your talent, not your education, not your network, and not your resources. Your greatest asset is your spiritual alignment. Alignment is the invisible current that carries all visible things. It is the vibration of your being that determines what flows into your world. To be spiritually aligned is to be in harmony with the unseen laws that govern all manifestations. It is to walk in certainty, to live in the end, to speak from the place of completion before any evidence arrives. Money is not something you chase. It is something you welcome. It gravitates to the one who no longer contradicts it in thought, word, or feeling. Many seek financial freedom through external methods. More hours worked, new investments, better contacts. But the truth remains. Without alignment, even the most intelligent plan will collapse. With alignment, the most unlikely path will prosper. It is not effort that manifests. It is resonance. You cannot trick the law. You cannot manipulate your way into prosperity. But you can surrender to the version of yourself who already has what you desire. You can let go of the noise, the proving, the resistance, and simply be. The one who knows who they are does not need to struggle for what already belongs to them. To be spiritually aligned means to live from the center of your being, to let your imagination take precedence over facts, to let your inner state dictate your outer experiences. When you are truly aligned, money is not something you need to get. It is something that needs to find you. It comes to the one whose vibration says, "I am already taken care of." Not as a hope, not as a wish, but as an identity. The spiritual path to wealth is not one of collecting, but of revealing. You are not becoming abundant. You are remembering that you already are. This is why there are those who, with no qualifications and little background, rise into prosperity seemingly overnight. It is not because they played by the rules of the world. It is because they lived by the law of alignment. They entered into a state where they no longer resisted the image of themselves as wealthy. They no longer apologized for thinking bigger. They no longer asked, "Is it possible for me?" Instead, they said, "It is done," and lived accordingly. They were no longer asking the world to approve. They were asking only themselves to remain faithful. All manifestation is a matter of inner permission. You must permit yourself to receive. You must permit yourself to rise. If you still carry shame around money, guilt around success, fear around abundance, then your inner gate is locked. No amount of effort will open it. Only spiritual alignment will. And that alignment comes not through repetition of words, but through deep surrender to truth. You must accept that the wealth you desire is already yours in another dimension. And you access that dimension through the feeling of already being there. When you rise in consciousness to the level of the wish fulfilled, you no longer feel surprised by blessings. You feel natural in them. You walk in synchronicity. The right people arrive. The right ideas emerge. The right doors open. Not because you chased them, but because you matched them. You no longer beg, you no longer wait, you no longer force, you trust. And in that trust, all things are added unto you. The work then is to still the mind, open the heart, and see the truth. You are the operant power. You are the one who determines how much love, how much joy, how much money you allow. The law is impartial. It cannot give to you what you refuse to claim. It cannot manifest what you do not feel. It cannot respond to fear. It only answers faith. Your alignment is not proven by how long you meditate or how many affirmations you say. It is proven by the stillness you carry, the clarity you hold, the certainty you embody. Let your inner temple be clean. Let your thoughts no longer betray your vision. Let your emotions be governed by the end result, not the temporary scene. You must become so anchored in the truth of your abundance that nothing sways you. Not lack, not delay, not discouragement. You must become the wealth you wish to see, and you must carry it in your being until the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Your spiritual alignment is your bank account in the unseen. It is the source of all overflow. When you are aligned, you don't count dollars, you count realities. You don't chase results, you express them. You don't argue with appearances, you affirm your truth beyond them. When you are aligned, you are free. Free from timelines, free from effort, free from doubt. You know who you are, and who you are is already enough. You are not here to become wealthy. You are here to awaken to the truth that you already are. Everything you seek exists now, waiting only for your assumption. The millionaire life does not begin in your hands. It begins in your mind, in your speech, in your inner alignment with the end already fulfilled. You do not chase. You do not strive. You do not beg. You remember, you feel, you become. Your imagination is the gateway. Your belief is the foundation. Your identity is the cause. Walk boldly in the vibration of completion. Assume the tone of the one who has already arrived. Make the inner world so rich, so real, so complete that the outer world must yield. You are not a seeker. You are the source. Be the cause. Step into power. Live from the end. And reality will echo back your truth with precision, beauty, and abundance.